Today we're gonna make Pong, but it's horrible. Hi, I'm Fairly. I'm the developer of a 2D Metroidvania game called Luna Lane, and thank you for watching my video. A few days ago, I tried to make a game in 24 hours. If you want to watch that video, go check out the link in the description. But then I had the idea of taking a classic game and making it really unbalanced and broken. So today, we're going to make Pong, but it's horrible. Before I start this video, I want to say thank you to all the new patrons that we got over on Patreon. If you want a bunch of cool behind the scenes and extra little bits and bobs and fancy stuff, check out the link in the description to Patreon, and it directly helps me out a lot. So thank you. Pong was made in 1972 by Atari, and it was one of the earliest arcade games to ever exist. But did you know that the concept for Pong was actually stolen from another game? It was stolen by a ping pong-like game included in the Magnavox Odyssey, which was the first home video game console. But what would it look like if we made it really unbalanced? I started with the basic outline of the map and forgot to make it static. Then I added a ball with some physics, and I added a paddle with some physics. I got some basic movement for the paddle, and then I started the movement for the ball. That's not right. I made it so that the ball can bounce off of walls, but not paddles still. And then I made the ball bounce off of paddles, so we pretty much have a really basic version of Pong right now, which is awesome. I couldn't decide how I wanted the AI to move, so I decided to just make it move up and down, but way faster than you. Then I decided to add score text, and I didn't know I was changing the color of the actual Text Mesh Pro material, so I sat there for a very long time trying to figure out what I did wrong. But eventually I got the score in and gave 2 different colors. Of course, next I gave the paddles 2 different colors, and then I thought I'm gonna upgrade to the lightweight render pipeline so I can have some pretty cool lights. So of course my whole scene went black, but then I fixed it. After that I made it so that the ball changes color depending on who hit it last. And I also need to fix collisions. Then I made it so if a ball hits the back wall, you'll lose a point, and a new ball will respawn. Then I changed the speed of everything to be a little bit faster, and everything was feeling really good. So in order to make a game that's purposely horrible, but not make it completely unplayable, it's always a good way to think about what makes a game good, and then just kind of sort of either flip it or not do that. So when I think about Pong, one of the things I think of is balance. How do you balance the game? How fast should the ball move? How good should the AI be? For this, I want to make the AI very simplistic. It'll just go up and down on the right side of the screen, but the ball is really going to be the part that makes it horrible. Now I try to think, how should the system work? Whenever a ball hits the side, should the enemy get a point? And then I came up with the idea that you and the AI both have 100 points when you start, and every time a ball hits the side, you lose a point. And after that, I came up with kind of crazy ideas, like you get power-ups for the ball, but they're kind of not really power-ups, stuff like giving your paddle gravity, so your paddle just falls to the bottom and you pretty much lose, and stuff like when you hit the power-up, it spawns 100 other balls. So now I'm gonna have to get to work and add that stuff into the game. I made a basic script that spawns power-ups at the top of the map, but they kind of just get stuck up there. Then I made the power-ups fall gracefully, except they went the wrong direction, and now they're going the right direction. The first power-up I made was supposed to spawn 10 balls, but I kind of broke it a little bit. This is a little too much. Then I sort of fixed it and decided to make the balls that it spawns mini, but now the mini balls can also pick up power-ups, so the mini balls were spawning more mini balls, and it was kind of a horrible mess. And then I fixed it, and I also made the mini balls that spawn at a random location, and they're all facing you, so it's a lot harder for you to deal with. Next I added a power-up that spawns 100 balls, and I broke it again, but then we got it settled. The next power-up I added is the gravity ball. Basically, if you get the gravity ball power-up and the ball hits a paddle, it'll get gravity and it'll start going a little bit crazy. Now I created an environment where you can get into situations like this, and it's absolutely horrible, so I think we're doing good. Next power-up is pretty self-explanatory. It's the high speed ball. Basically, if you get it, your ball speeds up. Another thing about it is, if you get a high speed ball while the ball is already high speed, it will still double the speed of the ball, so it can end up going blindingly fast speeds. Then I began working on making all of the art for the game. It was very difficult for me to come up with art that I wanted to do. I wanted to make it really simplistic, but you know me, I love pixel art, so I wanted to make pixel art. So I decided to keep the ball and the power-ups actually pixel art, and keep the rest of the stuff just solid colors. It took me a while to actually get to this point of deciding to do that, so the game might look a little ugly for a little bit. So I came up with basic designs for all the different power-ups, the 10 ball, the 100 ball, the gravity ball, and the speed ball. After all that, I was really happy with what I was doing, and I just wanted to get the assets into the game. So I assigned a bunch of sprites and whatnot, and now when the power-ups spawn, you can actually see that they have the correct sprite, which is really, really cool. So now you know when a gravity ball is coming and it's going to ruin your life. The sound effects in Pong are pretty much just beep, burp. So I created a bunch of beeps and boops to put into the game. After I worked on sound effects, I decided to add all of these other sprites into the game, and I think I stretched it out a little bit. Then I made the walls and things look a little bit better, and I was really happy. At this point, I started to realize, wow, I've actually just made Pong, and I did make Pong, and it's horrible, but I wanted to keep going with it. So of course I added some bloom, and I do end up changing the bloom a little bit later on. I'm still pretty new to post-processing effects, so it took me a little bit to tweak it to the area that I want it to be. I also added that chromial, whatever that thing is called, that makes the red and black 3D looking thing. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I also added that to it. I looked it up and it's called a chromatic aberration. I also said red and black, and I meant to say red and blue. Next up, I added a nice trail behind the ball. I think it looks pretty good. And I even added little mini trails on the mini balls, but I don't know if that looks that good. Then I made a nice little animation for the paddles for when they hit the ball, so it just does a little boop, and I think it looks good. I got the animation in, and I think it looks pretty good. Also, I forgot to mention, but I also added these colored back walls. And at this time, I was sitting there and thinking, did I really take Pong and make it horrible, or did I just make my own version of Pong? I'd like to think that I kind of did make my own version of Pong, but I also made it pretty horrible. Next, I added some particle effects for when the ball hits a paddle, and I'm really proud of them. This is my first time ever actually making particle effects that have physics on them. So I thought it was going to be a lot harder to make, and it's actually really easy. After that, I made some smaller particles for when the mini balls hit the paddle. And now there's a particle for when the ball hits the back wall. At this point, I was thinking of a few different things. One of the things that I was thinking of is the mini balls cause a very loud and annoying noise when they hit your paddle, and also they kind of went through walls sometimes. So I decided that I would make the mini balls get destroyed when they hit your paddle instead of bouncing back. And I know this makes the game more balanced and less horrible, but I wanted to make the game horrible in a balanced way and not just make a complete and utter mess that's impossible to even play. Now I was really working on finishing up the game, so I added a little animation to the text whenever you score a point. Also, if you can notice, I made the enemy paddle a lot taller than your paddle. This just helps to make it a little bit harder for you to deal with. And if you notice, I made it so that the enemy score counts up and your score counts down. So how this works now is that you start off with 100 health and the enemy starts off with 0 points. Every time you score a point on him, it goes up. So now you have to see how many points you can score before you run out of health. This wasn't a necessary change, but I made this change just to make the game a little more fun and for people who love to get high scores and get that arcadey kind of feel, just sort of see how high of a score you can get. But I was not done, no. I decided to add one more power-up that makes the enemy paddle shoot out little mini balls over a period of time. I added this because the game just kind of felt a little bit bland, not as hectic and crazy as I wanted it to, and this really added a sort of more hectic feel to it, because if you have mini balls already coming at you, and now this thing is shooting mini balls at you, it gets a little bit crazy. With everything else in the game finished, the last thing that I had to do was to create a game over screen. Now when you lose, it just says game over, and it tells you your high score, and you can restart. So with that being said, the game is finished. So here we have the finished game. You can hear some awesome music. This music was made by Polar Chips. You should definitely check him out if you have not heard his music or seen anything. He's also making some music for my game Luna Lane, which is really awesome. So definitely go in the link in the description and check out his channel. But we did it. We made Pong and it's horrible. And now I want to see how high of a score that I can get while also talking about the game. So I want to see if I can get at least 30. The last time that I tried, I got like 30. Okay, we're starting off with Speedball. I actually like the speedball. It really speeds it up, and I don't know why, but I can actually hit the ball a lot better with the speedball. Okay, we're starting off good. He's also shooting at us, so that is not good. I would say the most difficult part of creating this was actually when I created the mini balls. I honestly sat there for about 3 hours wondering why the mini balls were spawning more balls. And I honestly did not realize that the mini balls were also picking up more power-ups to spawn more mini balls. I almost gave up and completely trashed the idea of having the mini balls. Also, we just hit 5. Oh no, the gravity. Oh no, the gravity. No, please, I didn't mean to get hit. He's crushing me. I almost trashed the idea of having the mini balls just because I couldn't fix that bug. And then I was sitting there and then I realized they're picking up the power-ups, Anthony. You're stupid. Okay, this is not good. That is not good. So I said I wanted to get at least 30 and I'm already down to 13. This is not good. This is not good. Oh my god, and now we both have gravity. No, please. I can't lose at 10. Oh, okay, wow, we're getting a lot of free points right now. And another gravity. Okay, I think I lost. Well, I definitely didn't get 30, but I think I can get 30. I'm gonna try again. I had a lot of fun making this. If you want to download it, there's actually a link in the description to the itch page where you can download it and play it. I'm really excited for this series. I hope that you guys are also excited for this series because I just like making my own bad take on classic games and just seeing what kind of things we can do. But overall, I'm really excited. Okay, this is not good. No, that is not good. But overall, I'm really excited for this series and to see what else we can do. Okay, that is not good. Why do I always get that? Well, I only got 8. I guess I can't reach my score of 30 like I wanted to. If you reach a score that's way higher than me and want to make me feel embarrassed, please download the game and take a picture of your high score and send it to me on Discord or Twitter or wherever, and it'll make me feel like an idiot for only getting 8. Thank you so much for watching this video. What do you think I should try to make horrible next? I'm thinking maybe Tetris? If you have any suggestions for games that I should make horrible, please put them down in the comments below and I'll see which ones I can get to. But I guess that's going to be all for this video. Bye!